this is what we're up against. This is what we're up against. This guy started out fine. I thought it was going to be a pretty good post. He says, I see a lot of people posting about how to get more yards. The best advice I could give you is do good work all the time. Damn. Got somebody got a pretty good idea here. What's wrong? Take on, this is a good idea. Not some of the time. He says, but all the time. After a few cuts on the property, you got to get it right every time. People pay for quality work. Isn't that sounding good so far? Now here's where it goes sideways. Here's where it goes sideways. Your prices got to be reasonable or cheaper than the next man. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Reasonable or cheaper. Whether it be $5, $10, $20, or $100. You got to be willing to go down if your customer says you're too high. Now all of a sudden we went from flat to fluffy, for God's sakes. Something that sounded good that, hey, my hope was, as I started reading this post, was, man, we got somebody out there that understands the concept of creating value and selling value, but then 25 words later, they're talking about, are you willing to go down when they tell you you're too high? Never turn work away because a $15 yard, oh God, I really think that was worse than eating a Big Mac as far as my heart goes. Really was. Because a $15 yard can be all it takes to get you started. It could lead to 60 or 100. Now, sounds like I'm throwing this person under the bus. So if you're one of my listeners, I appreciate you listening. I want you to continue to listen. But I also want you to listen to the rest of this. Listen to the mindset. Listen to what you're really telling the customer or the potential customer. And maybe more important than what you're telling the customer, but what are they telling me and you? This is like that river of information I talk about, that social media is a river of information or an ocean of information. But you got to be careful about who's peeing in the water upstream. This is some of that that's getting in the water that's messing us up as an industry. This is what's wrong with our industry. The mindset that we got to do it cheaper just because the customer wants it cheaper. Goes back to that Walmart mentality, man. Guy was on a good roll about doing the job right and growing your customer base by doing a great job. But at the end of the day, he's backtracking and saying, hey, man, you got to be willing to do it cheaper. You don't.